It'd be like that.
Hello. This is the Evolution of Man podcast. I'm your man, Darion.
It's your man's Tweeter.
And we jumping in today's episode, our topics for the day. Go ahead and lead off. What topics we rolling with today?
How that sound nice.
What you drinking on? I got some high quality H2O right here.
Some high quality 15-year Glenlivet Scotch.
Disclaimer, we do not promote drinking alcohol in unsafe manners.
There you go. I was like,
Go ahead and read it off.
So, I always got to come with something. So, my brother, I got a joke for you.
I'm listening.
What do you call a pudgy psychic? A fortune teller.
You was excited for that one too.
I was really excited.
For that.
No, that one, I like that one.
Hit him with them topics.
All right, so what we're gonna be covering today is for one, we're gonna be covering envy. All right, Secondly, repressive expressions of emotions. So to go in depth on both of these topics, I'll start off with envy. Why do you feel as though us as men are always envious of each other when there's already all these stigmas against us? There's already all these strikes, if you will. When I was growing up, especially being a black man, I was always told I got 2 strikes already. I'm intelligent and I'm black. So if those same rules apply to other men, black man, white man, whatever, those same strikes apply. Why is it that we are always envious of each other instead of actually trying to help each other?
I would say most folks are envious of what other people have instead of truly envious of said person. That's how I look at it. Outside looking in, you see what's being displayed, but you don't really know what's actually really going on behind those 4 walls, or that behind that true individual. You only seeing what they are allowing you to see. So I believe it's a lot of folks that are envious of what is being presented to them, whether it's materialistic items and status that's being presented to them, instead of truly being envious of that person as a whole. That's my approach to that one.
I feel like it go hand in hand though. So you envious of this person's items would essentially kind of make you envious of that person, because it's not like, oh, this person got Gucci belts and these nice cars and all this jewelry, and then it's like, I want his stuff. It's like, nah, like I don't like him. Like I don't like this dude because he has all this. So it's like I'm envious of his stuff, which in turn turns around me not liking him and being envious of him. So instead of trying to come together and reaching out, now I'm just focused on the fact that, as you put it, you got what I don't have. Mm-hmm. And this is how I'm gonna end up taking your shit because I want it.
Have you ever been in a situation where you felt you were envious of another guy?
Honestly, no. Never had a reason to. Mainly because it goes both ways. Like you obviously put in some form of work.
Right.
No matter whether this was legal work or illegal work. And in some cases, you just got stuff handed to you. But it don't make no difference to me because that's not the cards that I was dealt. So if you put in the work to get it, all right, bet. I'm not envious of you. What's a better way to view this? I'm motivated by you.
Okay.
Not envious at all. But whatever you did to get you to where you got, I want to try this. Like, all right, cool. I really do want this. So let me set my mind to doing what you did. And then in the back of my mind, I can give you credit. And if I know you up front, I can give you credit. Like, hey, bro, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You may not know it, but what you've been doing has helped push me. Instead of lurking in the back, like, yeah, what up, bro? You know what I'm saying? You my dog. But meanwhile, I'm scoping out your house about 4 or 5 times a week, trying to figure out your pattern, and then come take your shit.
See, I think for me, like I said, to answer my own question, I know for a fact I've never been envious of a person for their personality or for their well-being as a whole. I've known to be envious of what people have, and not in a hating way, not like, oh, I deserve to have that, this person don't deserve to have it. Envious in a way where it's like, man, them clothes that person got is nice. I want to get on that level. That car that person drives is nice. I want to get on that level, and such and such. But never to a point where it's like, damn, why can't that be me instead of them? Like it never got to a point where I want to bring somebody else down or take what they have and they be lesser than me. It's always, man, they right there, and what's being presented to me, I like what I see, and I want to get up there with them as well. So
I'm saying it's a motivation thing.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't always be an envious thing. Like I should not hate what I'm supposed to view as my brother. Like we legit in this together, and especially speaking to the black population, it's like we're legit in this shit together.
I see what you mean, though. It almost comes off like competition.
Yeah.
Like instead of everybody coming together and I mean, if you see somebody on top, how often do you really see somebody trying to bring others up with them? It's always
it's like, oh, I'm here and y'all niggas is peons and y'all can kiss my ass. Like it's no, it shouldn't have to always be a one up thing. Like, oh well, yeah, I got this, he got that, but I like what he got, so I'm either gonna take his or I'm trying to be better than him. Like, nah, this.
What come with that? You know what come with that? Maturity.
What's up?
That's a maturity thing. That's something you got to be open-minded to see and truly see it for what it is. There's people I know that are well off better than me right now, and I feel there's been days that I feel like I could be doing more. I should have more based on how hard I've worked and as much as I've sacrificed. But that doesn't mean somebody else hasn't worked harder, twice as hard as me, and sacrificed twice as much as me to get what they have. So outside looking in, we don't know what's really going on with that person we may envy, or the things that person may have we may envy. We don't know what they've done to get it, how they acquired it, or whatever the case may be. All we doing is seeing from the outside in. And that's that part where you got to really check yourself and address yourself and look in the mirror and be like, damn, I see what they have, regardless of how they obtained anything or the success level or status level they've reached. I'm going to use that person or that individual as a motivational tool, because even if you make it to that level, do you want to stop right there, or do you going to find somebody else and be like, all right, I got here and now I want to go higher. So who else do I look to either envy for motivational reasons or emulate to reach to the next level, to reach to the top and keep on going and keep on progressing? Because nobody's going. You didn't join the military as a private and stayed as a private. You emulated the specialist, and then you emulated that sergeant, and then now you're emulating the next rank and so forth. and you continue to want to improve. So being envious can be a positive thing and obviously a negative thing, for the wrong reasons. Just don't allow it to. I've never allowed being envy as like, oh, that person don't deserve this, da 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 this. It's always been, like you say, a motivational tool. So.
I got you. So that leads me to ask you this, right? So, because that basically sounds like, all right, when people, get the question of who's your biggest idol or who's your role model, things like that, like you said, you start to emulate that person because you like what that person has. Your role model could be somebody rich as hell and got like all the things that you've grown up dreaming of.
Right.
And that could be the person that you, if you want to use the word envy in a positive way, or, you want to emulate, as you said. But you also mentioned that you don't know what's going on with that person. Like, you don't know how that person got to where they are. So, leads me to ask you, is the grass always greener on the other side?
Are we answering this pertaining to relationships, life as a whole, or how do you want to attack this one?
I mean, it could be a two-part question. If you want to bring relationships into it, then that's cool. But
I'm gonna stay on task. We'll probably pull relationships into this later. I caught myself a few times, or I think everybody can say, there's been a point in your life where you feel like, damn, shit's tough, or my life is hard. There's nobody out right now that's dealing with or going through what I'm going through right now. And we begin to believe that, if I was this person, I wouldn't be going through this. Or if I was this way, or I wouldn't be going through that. Just assuming. We don't know, but we just
making
think.
Statements. Assuming?
Like, I would use an example, when the kids is acting up. When the kids is acting up and it's just a bad day, everybody crying, screaming, kids ain't getting along. It's just one of those bad days. And you like, damn, I feel like I'm the only father in the world whose kids is acting up. And I wish my kids acted like such and such kids. And you find yourself saying that stuff, but you really don't know the reality. Such and such kids could be 10 times worse than your kids. But you paint that picture thinking my kids is so bad, or today is just so bad. I wish my kids was like such and such kids, because Lord knows I know how they really are. I'm just assuming.
You paint that picture, or they've trained their kids to where when they out in public, you better act like a fucking angel.
Exactly. That's just an example. That's just a tip of the iceberg example.
Yeah.
But relationships. Relationships.
No, it's not. The grass is not always greener on the other side of another relationship.
It's not. And you wanna spill in on that one first?
It's not. It's just.
Put it like this: grass gonna die. All grass die at some point.
If you sit in one spot on the grass, it die too.
All grass dies at one point. It's on you to choose which grass you want to water. You got to take care of your grass.
Ooh.
And that ain't from me. That's off Google somewhere. So don't quote me on that. But it's easy. It's easy to think, damn, shit hard right now, or I'm not getting the attention I need right now, or I'm not happy right now where I'm at. What if I was with this person? Or, this person, I know I would be happier if I was with this person. I know it wouldn't be no problems if I was with this person. It might be like that from the jump, but you're not incorporating reality with that person. You caught in the moment. You trying to make a decision based on temporary emotion, how you feel in the moment. And that's what
We
a
all
lot
know
of
thinking with emotions leads to catastrophe and disaster.
man. So advice on that one is the grass always greener when you stop and truly think about it. In some rare situations, yes. If we talking life, death, you know, you in a situation is bad and you got to get the hell out and remove yourself from that situation based on the safety and well-being and whatever of your life. Got it.
If you're
Understandable.
getting abused and you want to know if the grass is always greener on the other side, yes. Yes, it is. Get
Yes.
yourself out of an abusive
Yes.
situation
But
and go find peace.
if you in a relationship and you can't and your pros outweigh the cons, like put it like this. If you can sit there and look at yourself in the mirror with a straight face and say, if I gave my all, my 100% to this relationship, would it be good? Would it be great? And you can genuinely answer that and say yes, then you answered your question. You answered the question yourself. But if you could sit there and truly answer no, if I put 100% into my relationship, my current relationship right now, and it would still fail and it would not go nowhere, it would not progress, then you might just need to remove yourself from that relationship and go on off into the world on your own and start fresh instead of playing back and forth and testing the waters and stuff. But if you genuinely know that if you trying 100% and it's not going to go anywhere and it's not going to work, understandable. But
Storms pass. It's always on you and your significant other to figure out on if y'all want to rebuild or just let the storm tear y'all apart. So
when y'all see these old couples who've been married 30, 40, 50 plus years,
it's love.
do y'all think, and y'all sit here and be like, relationship goals, I want to be 20, 30, 40 plus years married. Oh, do you think you think those couples was married 30 consecutive years without any issues, any problems, or any of that? Just happily
Would they
married?
be human?
No. Because one, I believe real love, true love needs to be battle tested. How do you know you truly love somebody, or what you have is real if it hasn't been battle tested? And when I say battle tested, go through some things, experience some issues, whatever
Some
the case may be.
hardships.
Exactly. How do you know what y'all have is real if y'all haven't went through anything and conquered it and overcame it, learn from it, grow together from it, and progress and move forward? That's what those couples you see that's been together 20, 30, 40 plus years, they've went through some stuff. I guarantee you that. I promise you that. It's this day and age, we're not able to go through things and overcome them. We're so quick to jump. Oh, I'm not happy right now. Let me go be happy somewhere else. And then when I'm not happy here, let me go be happy somewhere else. And then it's a never-ending cycle. I used to do it.
You used a word earlier, though, and that's basically what this circles around. You remember this word?
I don't remember it right now.
Maturity.
Maturity, exactly.
It comes down to maturity.
You got to be
if
mature.
You get
about
battle
it.
tested, as my co-host has mentioned, if you get battle tested in your love, and then the first sign of hardship, you like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? It's a lack of maturity because, I mean, unless, with exception, there are some extreme cases, and if shit's not right, like I said, leave. But if it's something that, in time you could work through, or if y'all actually sat down, talked it out without the emotions and things like that, you actually sit down to have a mature conversation. You and your significant other, y'all choose to engage and converse and figure out what upset the other and how to remedy that. Like, that takes maturity. That shows a way to stand against your battle. So
right. But in a sense, just like you said, maturity. I use myself as an example. Back when I was a hellraiser, I guess you can say, or a hoe. You can call me a hoe. And I was going through relationships and just playing games. And I wouldn't commit. And this is just real talk. I would not commit. I wanted to play games. I wanted to constantly entertain multiple women. This was years ago. And because I didn't want to face the reality that a lot of shit was my fault, you know, I would be like, all right, I'm out. I'm not happy here. But the reason I wasn't happy was because of me. And that's a problem. That's a problem with today. A lot of relationships are in jeopardy, and the person who caused the pain, caused the headache, the heartache, don't want to own up to it, be mature, and address it, and fight through it, and learn from it and grow. Instead, they want to continue the cycle. I'm not happy here anymore. Even though I messed up, I know I messed up, but I'm still not happy. I'm going to go elsewhere. And then I'm going to fall into the same situation, do the same thing. Oh, I got in trouble again. Now I don't want to deal with it. Let me go talk to this person because this person doesn't make me happy anymore. One day you're going to wake up. You're going to get tired of that. It's going to get old. Or you're going to be one of them old ass motherfuckers in the club looking stupid and lonely. Talking about where the hoes at. And you 40 years old in the club. You know, it gets old. Or you can be mature. I'm being serious. Or you could be mature.
Shit
and you
got deep.
You can own up to your mistakes, or you can own up and hold yourself accountable for whatever. You don't have to make mistakes. Just whatever is pertaining to that relationship, hold yourself accountable. Work things out with your partner and grow. Because for people to say, oh, relationship goes 30, 40, 50 plus years, you're going to run into some situations. You're going to run into some problems. Your love will be battle tested. True love, in my belief, needs to be battle tested. How do you know it's true love if your love has not been battle tested? And that's how I feel.
I can dig it.
Because it ain't going to always be sunshines and rainbows. What happens when things get bad? Me as a person, I need to know.
Hailstorms and
tornadoes. I need to know as a person. I need to know as a person when things get bad, we will survive. And I feel you should feel that way too, because it's easy to love when shit is good. When everything's good, everything's peaches and cream, it's too easy to love.
It's easy to accept anything when shit is good.
Yeah, but what happens when that first hiccup happens?
Well, it depends on what you want to deal with at that point.
So that's how I feel. Grass is greener. Long story short, if you can tell yourself, look yourself in the mirror and be like, if I give my 100% to this relationship, would it improve? Would it get better? Could we get past stuff? And you can answer yes, then that answers your question on the grass. But if you can seriously say, if I gave 100% and it ain't going to go nowhere, it's not going to improve, whatever the case may be, then you might need to remove yourself from the situation. And that don't mean just go jump into another relationship. You know, that could be in a relationship, be single, work on you.
There's enough people that do that in the world.
Hopscotching. Hopscotching. Just because one relationship...
Take this rock. Hey, I landed on 8. Let me go fuck up 8 lives until I figure out mine.
But long story short, based off what I've explained, the grass has not been greener for me in my past experiences. And
it's the best way to reference something is when you have a past experience.
Oh, I have some past experience, and yeah, and people who know me, they know I have some past experiences. But that's another reason why we're here today, is because it's nice to be able to look back and I can sit here with a straight face and know where I've came from and know where I am today mentally and maturely and
Evolution of
genuinely.
man.
Exactly, the evolution of man. That my past is behind me. Those days are behind me, and I want to. That's why we're here to share the stories and share the experiences we have for someone who may be going through it or walking that fine line on whether to transition to manlyhood or stay in that, what they call it, fuck boy, whatever. I'm 30 now, so
I
I don't
think
know.
I think they still fuck boys. I don't know. You
What,
kind of
what,
forget that term.
all right, what was the next topic?
All right. So next we have the repressive expressions of emotions.
Ooh, lead that off.
So to elaborate on what I mean is a constant burying, smothering. Like, let me just bury you alive, throw you in a box, and put you 15 feet deep type repression of emotions. I'm sure you can relate. Sure, plenty of other people can relate. You grow up and there's certain things, you're told that a man can't do or a man's not supposed to do. You ain't supposed to feel this way. You ain't supposed to do this thing. You ain't supposed to cry. You ain't supposed to get upset. And you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we don't know no better. We kind of stick with that. Some people formulate their own opinion on that and then they end up emotional. Some people use that as a foundation to grow up with. Then you encounter these situations where it's a prime time to exercise this emotion. It's a prime time to let this out, to talk about your feelings, to let somebody else know how you feel in regards to whatever situation y'all may be in. So, do you feel as though at some point you should really just let that go and tune into your emotions, or that's just going to be the way of life of man?
You need to. You if you don't, you're gonna lose yourself, cause that shit
Cue
happened to me.
Eminem.
Like you will lose yourself trying to hold everything in. And me myself, as a when you hear those men, boys, whatever we want to call them, when you hear men say, "Oh, I don't cry," or I'm too hard and this and that. I don't have no emotions. We are human. The last time I checked, every human has emotion. So don't say you don't cry. Don't say you don't show it. You cry. Me as a man, I can say I've cried behind closed doors, and the reason for that happening is because of the repression. You don't want nobody to see it, but it doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
That's two different things. And what happens is we become so concerned about coming off as being vulnerable. You don't have to be vulnerable to show emotions. Showing emotions doesn't dictate that you're a vulnerable person. And even if you are vulnerable, it's not the end of the world. But there's been situations that I've been through where no matter how hard I tried to be strong and try to overcome it, I had to let it out. Because if I didn't let it out, it's going to feel better to let it out than to hold it in. And the moment when you let it out, you're going to feel like you're able to breathe. You're going to feel like you just took your first breath on this earth when you let it out compared to holding it all in because of your ego. You don't want to seem soft. You too hard. You don't show emotion because you too hard. Fuck out of here with that shit. Be real with yourself. If I could sit here and say I've cried behind closed doors, I've cried when I was alone, that just shows you some of the stuff I've had to bear and take on. And that's another reason why we're here, For the ones who don't want to speak up, you don't got to speak up. You'll speak up when you're ready to speak up, and it don't even got to be to me or us. But holding that shit in, that's just hard, and it doesn't get any easier the longer you hold it in, because life is going to continue to happen, things are going to continue to happen, problems are going to continue to happen, but it's going to come a time where you need to find an outlet, a way to let that stuff go. And it doesn't even have to be crying. You can vent. You could tell your story. You can go talk to somebody. But that's why we're here today, because we believe that there are not enough outlets and platforms for men to go to share their emotions, whether it's good. Some stuff we want to celebrate our highs. It doesn't have to be lows. Some days we want to go somewhere where we can feel like we accomplished something, and we can share that and feel appreciated, feel valued and stuff. It doesn't always have to be bad. But when it's bad, when things aren't going good, what do we do? Just like you said, society has, we can't be soft. We got to be hard because we're men. We got to be manly at all times. That shit, that's why you see, suicides, especially in the military. A suicide will surprise anybody, because it's like, such and such we never saw it coming. We didn't see the signs, because that person was being repressive of their emotions. And they could have been the strongest person in the world to the outside world, but that inner self, you got to be able to understand. Everybody says understand. You got to be able to understand yourself. You got to understand your inner self. And if, no matter how well you look from the outside, what it boils down to is how you feel in the inside. You could look good. You could, give off that vibe that everything's okay. But I don't know. You got to be true to yourself. You got to be able to tap into your emotions, control them, and let loose and let go. It doesn't have to be all the time, but you got to come to a point in life where you're able to accept and understand that, hey, I can't hold on to this pain no more. I can't hold on to the past of something I may have done anymore. I need to face it, overcome it, so I can move on with my life. That's what it boils down to. What you got to add?
Oh, shit. I know personally, yeah, I was a victim of that. I ain't talking to nobody. Held shit in to the point to where I developed a stress ulcer, like in my stomach, couldn't breathe, felt like somebody was stabbing me, had to get rushed to the hospital, all that shit. It was weird, bad. That led me to understand maybe I should talk to somebody. Did it work? No, it didn't. It took me, I think, up until I got married to actually truly just be able to open up. And that still even took time. Like, it took time. It's always going to take time to open up to somebody and to be able to vent and express yourself. But honestly, I don't really got too much to say on it, because you hit like a good portion of it, especially to sit there and bring in the topic of suicide. That's a whole nother serious topic that can or cannot be covered. We're going to leave that to the audience. But no, ultimately he hit it right on the head. Like, if you feel as though you need to talk to somebody, talk. You can come on here. We can have you sit here with us for 45 minutes to an hour, and we can all shoot the shit. Like, or you can vent. Like, if you feel as though you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. Let it out. Stop feeling as though this stigma that got placed on men since before you were born has to be the definition of your life. You're not soft if you choose to speak up. You're not weak if you choose to speak up, because Everybody vents to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
whether that be couples venting to couples. Hell, if you go to a therapist or you go to a psychiatrist, what you think you're doing there? Venting,
Yeah.
letting it out, and you still talking to somebody. That person just so happens to be a stranger who's gonna, they may or may not use that time to ask you redundant, mundane questions. That's just gonna waste your time. But speak up, vent, talk, let your emotions out, and ain't nothing wrong with crying. But yeah, I cry behind closed doors. Shit
And
happens.
hey, shit does happen. I mean, put it like this, you know, for the ones who do cry behind closed doors, which I've done, and I have no problem doing it in front of my family now, or whatever the case may be, that feeling right there, and especially if you have someone in your life, to know you have someone
Sure.
who can support you at your lowest of lows, that's greater
Your
than
highs of
and
highs.
your highs of highs. Because if the person you with right now, and I know we may have a lot of single people, so I know I keep saying I'm just married, so I'm just relating to that.
Oh man, we gotta address the single people too.
We're gonna address the single people.
If you
too.
by yourself and you look in the mirror and you feel as though you feel like you got your back, have your back, my dog, have your back, and you know what I'm saying, hype yourself up.
You got friends. You got friends, and if you have real friends, because everybody ain't your friend. We'll get into that another day. But we're not saying go to everybody and open up. You could find you one or two people. Keep your group small when it comes to stuff like this. But you need to have a source, an outlet to where you can go and voice and let it out. Let it out. Sometimes
Hit a bag. Right.
Sometimes you don't even need to speak. Sometimes you just need to let out whether it's anger, fear, if you're afraid, there's ways to do it. But it's not just to say, oh, to evolve as a man. It's for your health and your well-being. Because being stressful all the time, being stressed out all the time, carrying loads and loads amount of emotions and pressure and stuff, that could take effect on your health as a whole.
Stress kills.
I'm telling you, whether you got your job, relationships, kids, family, friends, there's all kinds of problems. There's all kinds of areas where problems can occur, which, build on stress. But
120,000 people die every year as direct result of work-related stress. So that's just from work. Stress kills.
Mm-hmm. And then, sometimes you just need somebody to listen. Nobody's saying, let this man drink. Nobody's saying, this is a serious topic.
It is.
This is a serious topic. But nobody's saying you got to go have a conversation. Find somebody who will listen to you. The person ain't got to talk back. Just find somebody who you can engage with and who's going to take you and your feelings and your emotions serious and hear you out, or just be there for you for a shoulder to lean on, literally, or just, figure of speechly. So you got, you lighting a candle or something?
No, I'm messing with this little plastic piece that came to the HDMI connector. But I do have a random question topic.
Go ahead.
We're going to dive into the realm of Marvel.
Marvel. Okay. Yeah, we need something. We need a little positive. That kind of.
Yeah, it was dark. That's why I had to switch it up. Who's the best X-Men? In your opinion?
I'm gonna go with Magneto. The man can control metal. That's me. That's me. Magneto. Hands down.
Just because he can control metal.
Yeah, you know how much shit made of metal?
All right, but what if you end up in the situation where, what if you end up in the situation where it was like in the movie and they trapped him in that like plastic jail cell and he couldn't do shit?
Didn't he break out because he got a...
He only broke out because Mystique helped him out and she pumped the security guard full of iron when she drugged him in the club.
Well,
so he would have been stuck.
I'm still going with Magneto. I'm going with Magneto.
I didn't have a choice in that. I was honestly just saying what you was going to say.
You a fool. Well, we're going to leave it at that. Damn, that was a deep one. I'm still thinking about that shit.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it at that. We're going to call it quits on this episode. We appreciate all the support. Y'all, we got the YouTube page up. So like, dislike, comment, subscribe, request if you want to be on the show, appear on the show. I will say, we're looking for people to come on and start guest appearing on the show so we can kind of get a gauge of the viewers. And, we want to hear from y'all. We want to hear, what y'all going through. We want to celebrate what y'all going through. We want to, communicate, things y'all may want to hear on the show or speak on the show, and just get a vibe from the viewers and stuff, because we want to continue to grow. You got anything you want to add?
No.
We're gonna leave it at that. So this is the Evolution of Man podcast. We appreciate y'all tuning in. I got some high quality H2O. I'm gonna go ahead and toast my mans right there.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate y'all watching, man. Y'all stay tuned on the next episode, all right?